What's up, everybody? As you guys can probably tell from the title, I'll be talking about. Sorry, I just want a little more light in here. So, as you can tell from the title, I'll be talking about my session last night. Me and Coach had one of our best grappling sessions ever. Basically, we went really hard, and I ended up catching him 3 times in a row in the beginning, and I could tell in his face that he was like, oh gosh, like, something's not right. After the first one, I could tell he kind of shrugged it off pretty easy, but then, yeah, he started to realize that it was my day, and, yeah, so we went really good. I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't feel amazingly well that day. I was a little bit late for class, just life happened. But the deal is, every day that I've been coming in lately, it's just been about having fun. Hasn't been about beating people up. Hasn't been about trying to be the best in the world. It's been about coming in and making it a fun time, as opposed to a really rough drilling session that everyone usually wants. Everyone usually wants it to be hard, and they want to be, sweating and crying by the end of it all. But honestly, me and especially Johnny, me and him roll really. We don't try and kill each other. We go pretty light. We go through our positions. We want to find new positions. We're not about holding on to each other and like holding on so we don't get tapped. We're about getting from one position to another in the most unique way possible, or in whatever way we've been working on lately. And I think that contributed a lot to me actually doing good last night, because I didn't come at Carlos thinking I had to like defeat him and destroy him at all. I just came in with a clear mind, and me and him were just grappling. And like I said, the first time I caught him, he shrugged it off like it wasn't a big deal. He said, "Oh yeah, I was trying this new thing," and then we kept going. And I noticed right away that my guard was working well. The things I was trying that weren't something I'd usually do were just working, and it let me get to his back. It just let me get into advantageous positions that usually he doesn't let me get to. But once I got to those positions, I felt it. I felt like he wasn't capitalizing the way he does, and I exposed every hole he gave me. And essentially, our first one was an easy one. He jumped on my leg, which is never a good decision for him, but he thought he could hold out, and he was trying to get on top into side control. And I sat up and I had his neck. I slid my knee in, I took his back, and I got the choke pretty nicely. And he thought it was a good one, but he thought it was also like oh, I messed up. Then the second one we're going, and it wasn't the same situation. He kept trying to pass, and I was sitting up. I kept trapping his arm. I used my arm drags. I used a tight chest control, always going 2-on-1 and taking away an arm. Mainly because that's one of the concepts he always teaches us, is if you can get 2 of their arms on one side, you're winning. And that's exactly what I did. I continued to get 2 arms on one side and going into the deep half, just like we've been working. And I was basically doing to him exactly what he was teaching us all week long. Just keeping him away with my knee in that deep half, getting my sweeps and getting on top. And I could tell it was frustrating him a lot, because after my second sweep that I got on him, he tried to go onto my leg. I got him in the crucifix position, and I sat up onto him, and I had the arm trapped in kind of a turtle. And then when I leaned into it, I got the choke on him again. And yeah, it was it was another really good one. And he had to tap. And then the third one, I could tell again, like he really wanted to take me. He really wanted to get really wanted to get one on me, because I already had him 2-0 in that round. And then when we were going, I'm not sure how it happened either. We were in half guard, and he tried to roll me over. Hey man, what's up? Altos? Hey. I'm just talking about my night in jiu-jitsu, rolling with my coach, and how we both did really well. But oh no, that's fine. No worries, man. I love talking to people. Anyway, like I was saying, me and my coach were rolling, and yeah, the last time I caught him, it was a knee bar that I just slid right into, and when he tapped there, we'd already gone like 15 minutes too. Our rounds usually last between like maybe 4 and 7 minutes, then he'll switch it up, but I started getting him, and he really wanted to get me back, so it ended up being like 15. And yeah, it was a good one though. After the third one, he shook my hand. He's like, "All right, we can switch up now." And then I went with Johnny. Me and Johnny did a nice light little round. And yeah, and then right after that one, he wanted me back, and he gave it back to me though. He dished it back. a bit. He caught me in a few things. I think arm bar, at least two arm bars. I'm pretty sure arm bar, straight arm lock, and then something else. And the funny thing about it is, I couldn't like when I was driving home. I tried to think about the submissions I got on him. It took me like 20 minutes to even remember because those, like, they just happened. When they happen so like quickly and effortlessly, it's like you forget about them. Honestly, you do. And it's and that's just like the whole theme of the night was I wasn't trying to be a killer. I wasn't trying to rip anyone's head off. I was just doing what I do, like just going into what I like, my natural flow of things, and it started clicking a lot more. And I felt like if I can start to replicate that more, I'll get even better. And it's as simple as just slipping into your game, you know. A lot of people, it's fine to do new things. That's what you want to do. That's how you explore. That's how you get better. And I think that's part of what did it. And then at the same time, though, you just have to trust what you know and what you do when you grapple. And I think that's just ultimately how I caught him. And just to square things out here, that third round, he got me really good. I'm sure he got the subs probably faster than I did in the first one. But I mean, at the same time, after class, he brought us all in and he gave a nice little speech about it. Kind of gave me a pat on the back, and then he was just talking about how me and a lot of the purple belts there have been up in our game, and that the thing that he likes the most about it, and the thing that he likes the most about jiu-jitsu is just that part about it, losing. That's like the real part about it. A lot of other coaches, they don't have to worry about that, you know. There's a lot of football coaches or squash coaches or baseball coaches, whatever sport you want to make up. Their coaches don't have to worry about losing to their kids. Like, those kids are like, they just trust that their coach is better than them. They don't really know. A lot of them haven't seen their coaches play. A lot of them don't know what their coaches did. They just assume that since they're their coach, they're better and that they know what to do. But in jiu-jitsu and in wrestling and all these grappling arts, your coach will go with you. And if your coach I guess this is something I wanted to hit on too, is if your coach doesn't grapple with you or wrestle with you at all, well then there's probably a problem there. There's probably a reason he doesn't want to. He might be afraid that you're going to beat him. And if you have a coach that's like afraid to lose, then that's not good, because that's not a atmosphere you want. You don't want to have a bunch of people in your gym who have like zero I don't know how to put it. What would you guys say? Not like, I wouldn't say it's partially ego, but I would say it's also something else. It's like, so true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Their reputation, right? It's a little bit of an ego thing. I mean, obviously, but and that's the other things. People say ego's horrible and bad and this and that. Well, ego breeds confidence too, is what a lot of people seem to like push to the side. They all say it's a horrible thing, but you have to have a little bit of it. Like, best people in the world always have an ego, some kind of ego at least, but it breeds like this artificially high amount of confidence when you have that, because now you have to back it up. And like we said with our coaches, like with my coaches in wrestling, like, good Jesus, my coach Val, I used to be scared of that guy because he didn't care. Like, he wouldn't punch you, but he would cross face you, and in that like 3 or 4 inches that he cross faced you, you'd swear he could have took your tooth out. Like, he was just that kind of guy. Like, he always went hard, and like he always put his reputation on the line, but he didn't care when he lost either. It would frustrate him. I mean, he did jujitsu with me now. I'm one of the few people who actually, I got to go with my coach in wrestling all the time, and then he started doing jujitsu, and I finally got to teach him and beat him up. That's always fun too. But the deal is, when he started doing jujitsu, he didn't like it either. Farm it. Yeah, exactly. You have to have a little bit of an ego, but you have to be able to control it too. Exactly. Like I was saying, my coach Val, he's got an ego about him. Like, he doesn't like to lose. He freaking hates it. He's 50 now too. Literally, my coach is 50, and my wrestling coach is 50. And he still comes in and he acts like he's a 20-year-old still. He just goes ham on people. And like, I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, but he comes in and he's got a chip on his shoulder every day. Every day. And he's 50. Like, that's something that's amazing. I envy that. I hope when I'm 50, I'm like Val. Because, gosh, anyone who tries to mug him, like, he doesn't look like much. He's a little bit, he looks a little bit like a parrot. But the deal is, if anyone tried to walk up on him and, like, take his wallet, good Jesus, they're going to get blast doubled in the chest so fast. Yeah, I agree, dude. I wish I can grapple when I'm 50 like that. And he started jujitsu late, too. Like, I 2012 is when I started wrestling, and I think he started doing jujitsu right about the time I graduated. Or wait, no, not 2012. I started in 2009 wrestling, and he probably started doing jujitsu in about 2012, 2013 maybe. Sounds about right. And yeah, he doesn't learn the same way in jiu-jitsu though, because he's a full-bred wrestler. And like I said though, he's got a little bit of that chip, and thanks to that chip on his shoulder, it's night and day the amount of stuff they can do. Anyway, so like I was talking about with my coach, we go hard. He caught me 3 times, I caught him 3 times, and it was just a great night because I'd never flowed into things like that quite the same. Like, it wasn't, and it wasn't like I was in some special state of mind. I wasn't super cut in. I wasn't like thinking about jujitsu all that day. I was actually a little bit busy doing things with my dad, and I was a little late to class. I didn't even drill that much. I didn't even have like a great warm up, but I felt all right. I felt all right, and then Carlos was like, "Hey, come here, let's grapple," and I was like, "Oh wow, all right, I'm gonna go with Carlos. Let's do this." I don't even know if I was in a flow. Like, I feel like a flow state is something that happens more like I guess it could have been one, but it didn't feel like it. I guess it doesn't feel like it in the moment, at least. Because when I was there, I mean, it didn't feel special. Like, nothing about the moment felt special other than I was tapping my coach and it felt easier than usual. I couldn't I couldn't put my finger on it. Like, I was kind of waiting for the moment where he picked it up and I was going to be the defensive person again, but it didn't happen in that first round. First round was just all me. Whenever he was on top, I got to my deep half, I got to sweep, and I got on top. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit like the Matrix, huh? I guess it is. I like, I guess that is a little, I guess that's a good way to put it because it's as simple as the moves that I was using were working really well. And I feel like I put them together pretty well. And Carlos was seeing it and feeling it because he was pushing, like he wanted to win. I could feel it. Especially after the first one, I could feel him trying to get on top more, trying to put more pressure on it, but he couldn't get his hips down. He couldn't really lock his hips in. I just wasn't letting him. I kept moving him, using my deep half just all day on him. I wouldn't. I would like to. I never. Yeah, not pre-planned out. That's a good way to put it. I didn't pre-plan anything. I didn't. I think the best part, the thing that really made it good, was I came in with like zero expectation. I wasn't coming in thinking I was gonna beat him or anything. I just thought, okay, cool, another round with Carlos, and I didn't. I wasn't thinking that I was gonna get tapped a lot, but I didn't think I was gonna catch him a lot either. I didn't know what kind of day it was gonna be. I came in with no expectation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was, though. And yeah, when I came in with no expectation, I was just surprised that my moves were working as well as they did. Honestly, like because usually I felt like I was doing somewhat of the same things I do against him, but they just clicked better, and I took advantage of all those little gaps. The little gaps that were there, I took advantage. I was probably just going for the attacks more, honestly, because I'm sure you felt this too. It's where Yeah, exactly, right. Like that's how I feel too a lot. All right. So, yeah, like I was saying, Mickey, like I'm used to that too. I'm used to thinking, he's probably going to get me, etc. But this time, like every little gap I saw, I took it right away and I went for the submissions as opposed to like, oh, he's on top, I'm getting smashed up or I'm getting this or that happening. I just thought, no, like this is my day. Especially after like I caught him the first time, I was a little bit like, oh, okay, like he's gonna pick it up now. And as he did though, it didn't feel the same. I'm way more used to feeling like, uh-oh, he's coming at me. I got to ball up. I got to defend. I didn't think like that. As he tried to get on top of me, I just swept him. I just kept trapping. I kept it in my territory. Arm drags, keeping my chest tight to his arm. Right? Exactly, right? Because a lot of times, like, Well, like you said at first, right? You said you're afraid that he's going to tap you. Well, I mean, if I keep going for submissions, even if he is going to tap me, I mean, might as well be going for submissions as I'm going down. Yeah, exactly. The defense. You gotta. I mean, it's smart though. It's smart to be good at your defense. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, defense is good because you don't want to get tapped or anything. I'm gonna drink some coffee too. I actually made that fresh coffee just for this Periscope. But yeah, exactly. Like you can't be defensive, and that's why when I roll with my friend John, we have like almost no defense against each other. Sometimes we're just both trying to sweep, trying to attack, trying to get to each other's backs, and then we go. It's not always submission attacks either. Usually it's just straight sweeps and things like that. But that's who's gotten me better a lot is Johnny. Oh dang, surgery. What was that like? Would you get surgery on your knees or something? What's up? Because like those are rough. I had a shoulder injury that put me off the mat for a few months, and I'm a guy who goes every day. Yeah, shoulder. Those suck. I know. My right shoulder I separated. I didn't go to the doctor or anything though. I probably should have, but it ended up healing up good. It didn't seem to be a third degree or anything. It was probably the first or second stage or degree, whatever they call it. I can't remember now. I did a bunch of research on it when I got hurt, but yeah, those suck though. I don't know what exactly it was, a labrum or whatever, but yet I feel for you, man. What'd you? 4 weeks? God, a white belt rolled in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Americana? You mean? Americano is a coffee. I think you meant Americana, but I love Americanos too. By the way, those are dope. I have those all the time when I go to the coffee shop. Yeah, exactly. I see what you mean. What belt are you, man? I know exactly what you mean though. Oh, nice. Awesome. So how long you been doing it? Cuz I've been doing it about 7 years, I think. Sounds about right, about 7 or we're going on 7, one of the two. Yeah, I'm a purple belt now. Had a purple belt for over a year. Yeah, the shoulders are the worst sometimes too. Nice. Awesome. All right. Oh, Half, not Roger. Okay. Half's awesome. I like the Half Gracie. Yeah. I like the Half Gracie just because I know I've seen a lot of Kurt Oziander's videos and those are hilarious and I love them. Especially that I don't know if you saw it. What is it? I think there was an episode of Rolled Up. I think is what they call it with the guy who travels to gyms all the time. Those I think those two episodes or the two parts of it are just dope. I love those two. Like that's probably one of my favorite parts of that. Or that's one of my favorite. What is it? Does it BJJ Vault that does those? I think it's called Rolled Up, where he goes to gyms and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Awesome, cool. Yeah, I thought you might have. Yeah, I like Kurt though because he's just himself, and that's like one thing about social media that a lot of people don't do. They're not themselves. They just act. They put on like a parade or a masquerade thing where it's like they act like they're big, bad, and all this stuff. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm big, bad, or the best in the world at all. Only because, like, only because I haven't gone to those levels yet. I really haven't gotten. I haven't gone to the worlds or anything. Just been. I've really just trained here in Redding, California for the last 6 or 7 years or 8 years, whatever. Anywhere from 7 or 8 years. And a lot of that was wrestling. I started wrestling, by the way. But yeah, me and my yeah, exactly. Basics are always like we were talking about with defense. I mean, it's good to have offense and everything, but when you have a good defense, it's it gives you confidence. I think my defense always gave me confidence. That way I can roll looser. I can be looser and not be as afraid of getting caught in something. So even though, like, being offensive is really good, but once you have a good defense, I think the whole point is that once you get really good at defense, you don't have to think about it anymore. So now I can attack all the time and then not worry if they get on top or if they get me in a rough position because I know how to keep my elbows close. I know how to defend really well. And just making my defense second nature, I think is something I need to I don't know if well, I guess I need to work on it. Exactly, yes. I love wrestling so much. Like, a lot of people ask me, because I think I've done jujitsu. I don't know if I've done jujitsu or wrestling more, because during wrestling season, we wrestle every day. Like, Monday through Friday, we have practice, and then tournaments on Saturday. And if we're lucky, it wasn't a 2-day one, and we get Sunday off for once. But, yeah, that's a lot of what wrestling was like for me. It really, I mean, it builds up your cardio, plain and simple. People who wrestle, they're just physically better. Yes and no. I mean, you just got to be aware of what you're doing on the ground. Like, this is like a lot of people. Actually, the guy Johnny I keep talking about, who me and him just grapple a lot. I feel like he's helped me a lot. Johnny says that he doesn't know if my wrestling's the best in the world. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to get away from some of the things you do in wrestling because some of it's just going to get you choked, obviously, right? Like, I can't belly out all the time in jiu-jitsu, otherwise I'm getting choked and, like, destroyed. But the deal is with me is, like I said, Johnny, he says the reason he thinks I'm so good isn't because of my wrestling, it's just that I've fused them very well. Like, I have really good scrambles, for instance, so I'm good at if someone's passing my guard. If they do almost get past it, I end up getting a good roll on them. There's a lot of different ways to do it too. And when I say roll, it sounds like I just power through them or something. No, it's not like that. If you've seen people who've seen me roll know what I'm talking about. It's all about setting it up as they're moving. You use their momentum. It's not me powering through them. It's them trying to pass and me tipping their balance point. There's a lot of, like, if you've seen any of my YouTube videos, you'd start to know what I'm talking about. By the way, I mean, don't mean to plug myself too much, but I have a YouTube channel that has just a ton of videos, and that's the thing that I really love to do is a lot of wrestling for jiu-jitsu type things. And if you're into wrestling and stuff like that, definitely check it out. YouTube.com/Otto the Mat Rat. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to find adult wrestling clubs. Your best bet's to go to during freestyle and Greco season. Oh, nice, awesome. Which one? Huh? You follow me? For some reason, the name isn't clicking for me though. That's weird. Black Cat, huh? I'll check it out. I'll try and look you up. For some reason, your handle's not clicking in my head right now. But if it was recently, then I'm usually really tight with a lot of my followers, so I was kind of surprised to not notice yours. All right, but yeah, Black. I'll look it up and see if it'll click in my head. Oh, okay, maybe that's why I can't. I'm still trying to click it. I can't. It's not clicking for me yet. Anyway, yeah, awesome. I'm glad I got at least one person to talk to me. But yeah, man, my channel's all about wrestling for jiu-jitsu, and I'm like you said, you are. If you've already followed me, yeah, I think okay, that looks a little closer to something I've probably seen. I don't know. Maybe we just haven't interacted that much yet. I'll try and I'll try and follow you back if I haven't followed you then. But yeah, yeah, wrestling for jiu-jitsu. I think it's really amazing because I like jiu-jitsu and I love jiu-jitsu for a lot of reasons, but there's something about when I get back into wrestling, when I go back to the high school and I get in the room, it's just another animal. Oh, nice. Yeah, against the post. I love those. I was doing those for a while. Exactly, yeah. You probably seen my driller diary then. That was really fun. Only reason I haven't been doing that's just because one, I don't have a partner, and I think if I just keep doing them with me solo, like shooting on a pole, people aren't going to watch it that much. But I mean, I'll probably get back to doing some kind of driller diary too. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. Is just drilling on the pole, doing my singles, doing my ducks especially. I got like 10 times better at ducks just drilling the crap out of them. And yeah, I liked. What was I talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about now. Yeah, I love wrestling though. Yeah, once we get in the room, like it's a different feeling. Like I think wrestling's more intense. Like you would think that jujitsu would be the more intense art because you have the ability to break people's arms and choke them, and it's completely legal. Unlike wrestling, where those things aren't legal, but and that's like the dirty little secret about wrestling that I think a lot of wrestlers know, but anyone who doesn't do wrestling doesn't know. All right. Hey, have a good one, man. But like I said, so I'll just go on with this. The dirty little secret about wrestling as opposed to jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu. All right. Yeah, have a good one, man. Mikey, I think that. Oh, Mikey. Oh, it clicked. It finally clicked. I know who you are on Twitter now. I think I know exactly who you are now. All right. Have a good one, Mikey. Anyway, like I was saying, the dirty little secret from like jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Jiu-jitsu, we all agree that we're going to be able to choke and arm lock each other and that we can tap and that that's all cool. But in wrestling, we don't really have that agreement, but people who've wrestled for a while know that the reason these kids are getting pinned, when you see kids out there get pinned, it's not from what you think it is. It's not just getting held down, and it's not like I'm just like can't move. It's not like you're just holding me and I'm not feeling any pain. Like the moves we use are meant to inflict pain as we're trying to pin them. Because if there was no pain, it would be really hard to pin someone. You have to have moves that inflict the minimum amount of pain that make them not want to move. And that's how you see a lot of people get pinned. And sometimes, I mean, yeah, there's plenty that might not have that much pain involved in them, but trust me, the majority of those kids, especially at like these D1 levels and stuff, they are feeling a lot of pain when they get pinned. Anyway, yeah, we meandered here a bit, huh? We talked about jujitsu and wrestling a lot, and then I kind of got away. But the reason, like I said, the reason my night last night was so good was because I came in, and like I talked about with Mikey here, it's because I came in with no expectation. Wasn't expecting to tap him out. Wasn't expecting to get my butt kicked. But since my coach came at me, I came in with zero expectation, and that's how I ended up catching him those 3 times in a row. And again, like I said, on the other side of it, it's every night. It's my best night, but then that third round when we win again, he caught me 3 times in a row and evened up the score. So even on your best night doesn't mean you didn't get caught. Your best night just means things clicked. Like things clicked amazingly for me, and I didn't feel any special state. I didn't feel like a savage that night. I actually came in late. A lot of things felt like they were against me, but I came in with no expectation, and that's how everything just felt like it unfolded better. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. I won't drag on too long here. Uh, Love that everyone's here. Love that everyone watched. Uh, and I don't know who's watching now, but we're about to end this thing. I just talked a lot about like I said, arguably my best night in jiu-jitsu, but we'll wrap this up now. Thank you guys for watching. Salt of the Mat Rat. We'll make this Matt Chat 2. And yeah, we'll upload this on all the things. You guys will see it if you didn't get to see it live. Alright, guys. Big kisses, lots of love. That's so gay, huh? Okay, I can't stop my fat thumb won't stop the broadcast. Stop. Broadcast, stop. Why aren't you stopping?